Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing great. Thank you for joining today's class. I know you're going to enjoy it. Pay attention, please, my students. Now, we are going to look on the topic that talks about essential technical food and beverage service skills. These technical service skills are used specifically for table service and assisted services. However, the skills are also used when providing other forms of services. For example, when carrying trays from room service or using a service server, or even for bar services, you must need these skills to deliver the required food to your guests. Now, let's look at the technical skills I've been talking about as our topic. So I've just listed them. There are 6 essential technical skills that you have to know as a food and beverage student. So let's have one, we have holding and using a service spoon and fork. Don't worry, we'll discuss them a bit by bit deeply. So let me just list them. 2, we have carrying of plates, using a service salver, using a service plate, carrying glasses, carrying and using large trays. So let's look at each and every one deeply, one by one. Now let's start with the skill number 1, holding and using a service spoon and fork. The purpose of the service spoon and fork is to enable the waiter to serve food from a flat or dish onto the customer's plate quickly and to present the food on the plate well. And always ensure that the service fork to be positioned above or on top of the service spoon. In picture 1, it shows us the positioning of the fork and the spoon, how they are locked at the end of the service spoon and fork with smaller finger and the third finger. In picture 2, the diagram shows that the spoon and fork are maneuvered with the thumb and the index plus the second finger. This method in picture 2 is used in food items when picking up from the serving dish in between the service spoon and service fork. Alternatively, the service spoon may be turned to mold with the shape of the items as seen in picture 3. It has shown how you can mold the service spoon and the fork when serving an item. For example, when serving bread roll, ensure that you position your spoon and your service fork as illustrated in picture 3. There are occasions where 2 service forks may be used. For example, when serving fillets of fish, the 2 forks are held side by side as it will make it easy for the service of this food item. And when using a service spoon and fork for serving sweet or serving cheese trolley or in a buffet or a guardian, the spoon and fork should be held in each hand. Always ensure that. Then we can use other service equipment like serving tongs, fish slices, serving spoon, scoops, small sauce, ladles, and large soup ladles when serving food. Now let's talk about carrying of plates as another technical skill. Carrying plates can be in a stack, using both hands, or using a tray. When carrying the clean plates that are to be handled to your customers, always use a single hand to hold the plates to the table and ensure that the hand is the left one so that the right hand will be used to place the plates at each cover on the customer's table. In picture 1 here, we can see how to position your plate in your hand. The third and the fourth fingers are placed underneath the plate, while the thumbnail is placed on top of the plate to ensure it is more firm. Picture 2 shows how to carry 2 plates. The remaining finger 1 and finger 2 are placed beneath the second plate, and the thumbnail is placed between the first plate and the second plate. When you carry the plates and you notice that they are too hot, then the plates are to be held with a service cloth placed on the palm of the left hand. And you must always ensure that you have a separate service cloth that will help you to hold the hot plates when placing them in front of your customers. Now, how do we go about when carrying pre-plated foods? When you carry the plates of pre-plated foods and when carrying plates from customers' table, a single hand is used to hold the plates and ensure that is the left hand. And the right hand will be used to place and remove plates from the customer's table. Now, to be able to clear properly, you must ensure there is efficiency. Do not clear your plates from the customer's table without any process. Always be keen when clearing the plates to avoid accidents and to create minimum inconvenience to customers. When you get the developed skills and techniques, it will enable more to be cleared in less time and in fewer journeys between sideboard or workstations. And in addition, clearing properly allows the stacking of dirties neatly and safely at the sideboards or working stations. Now, let us look at using a service salver. You can call a service salver, in other words, a round tree. Service salvers are made using different materials. You can get a service salver that is plastic, woody, or even stainless steel. So, when carrying a service salver, ensure that before you use it, fold a flat napkin and place on top of it. Why do we do so? This will help you to reduce or prevent the items you are carrying from slipping. So, take note when carrying equipment or even food to the table using a service salver, ensure you put an underflat. That fold will really help. So, there are various uses of service salvers. One, you can use them to carry clean or dirty glasses to and from the table. Two, you can use them to carry clean cutlery to and from the customer's table. You can also use the service salver to place clean cutlery on the table. As you can see on this diagram, this waiter is using a service salver to put clean cutlery on the table. Another use, you can use a service server as an underflat. Why as an underflat? It will add presentation of food. It will also give the waiter more control when using the service spoon, forks to serve food from the dishes. It will provide greater protection in case of spillage, and it will give the waiter added protection against heat and possible spillage on the uniform. When curling clean cutlery, placing or removing clean cutlery from the table using a silver salver is more efficient, hygienic, and safer. And also, it's more professional because you can't carry items of bunches in your hands. So, when carrying cutleries, ensure that the blades of knives should be placed under the arc in the middle of the forks. And if carrying sweet spoons and forks, the prongs of the fork should go under the arc in the middle of the spoon. Why do we do this? This will help the items steady on the service salver. Bear in mind that the handles of the cutlery are generally the heaviest parts. This method prevents them sliding about too much. Now, let us look at using a service plate as another technical skill. What is a service plate? A service plate is a joint plate with a napkin upon it. It has a number of uses during the meal service. It is used to place clean cutlery on and off the table. As we had discussed earlier on a service tray, it has the same use with the service plate. The two carry clean cutlery on and off the table. Another use, it is used for clearing side plates and side knives. When clearing side plates and side knives from the customer's table, the use of this service plate means that the waiter has a larger area on which to stack the side knives and any debris. These side plates can be stacked above the service plate and all the debris in a separate pile. Together with the side knives laid flat upon the service plate, it is much safer and speedier method, especially when large numbers are involved. Another use, it is used for cramming down. The service plate is used when cramming down from the start to the last process. The purpose here is to freshen up the appearance of the tablecloth prior to laying the sweet covers and serving the sweet. Now, always make sure that when using a service plate, ensure that your thumbnail is above it while your index finger is below the service plate for it to be firm to avoid spillage or falling down. Another use, it is used for clearing accompaniments. When clearing accompaniments like cruet, peppermill, or sandpaper, or any other accompaniment which may not already be set on an underplate, you use the service plate. I hope you're getting the uses of service plates. Another technical skill is carrying of glasses. As you all know, There are two basic methods of carrying glasses, whether by hand or on a service salver. Now, let us look at carrying glasses by your hands. How do you go about it? When carrying the wine goblets, ensure that you position the goblets between your alternate finger as far as possible. The goblets should only be carried in one hand so that you can allow the other hand to remain free and steady in case of any emergency. In picture 1 below, you can see how the glasses are alternated between the fingers. This has enabled the bases of each glass to overlap to the next, which has allowed maximum number of glasses to be held in one hand. This method also allows the goblets that are already polished to be handled. They can be carried from the rooms or in the restaurant and set in their correct positions on the table without the bowl of the glass being touched. Always ensure that when carrying clean glassware, put your hands by the stem. Handle the glasses at the stem, and for the ones that are not stemmed, touch the bases. Now let us look at carrying glasses on a service salver. Picture 2 below shows how the glasses are arranged on a service salver. You can use a service cloth on the palm of the hand with the service salver placed upon it. This will always allow the service salver to be rotated more easily in order to remove each wine goblet in turn by the base and to set it on the table. Now, I'll talk about when clearing dirty glasses. What do you go or what do you do about it? How do you go about it? The first dirty wine goblet cleared should always be placed on the service salver nearest to the server. These dirty glasses are cleared and placed on the service salver to ensure a better and more even distribution of weight and also to reduce accidents that might occur. Again, the dirty glasses are always handled by the stem. Whether dirty or clean, handle them by the stem, and for the non-stemmed glassware, handle them by the base. We do this because it is more hygienic as it avoids touching where the customer has been drinking from the glass. Now let us look at our last technical skill, that is carrying and using large trays or an oblong tray. There are many uses for using large trays. One, you can use it to carry food from the kitchen to the restaurant, from the rooms and lounges. You can use it to clear from sideboards to the kitchen. You can use it to carry equipment, and you can use to clear from the tables. And when using the large trays to clear from the table, ensure that the customer is not seated at the table. Now we have a picture here that shows how an oblong tray is carried. As you can see, it is well arranged in such a way that the heaviest items are nearest to the carrier. These always help to balance the tray. Also note that when carrying the tray, one hand is placed underneath the tray and the other at the side of the tray. Now, the correct method of holding and carrying the oblong tray is to position the tray lengthways onto the forearm and to support it by holding the tray with the hand. Thank you very much for giving me your time. And I know each and every one of you have learned more about the technical skills in food and beverage service areas. I would wish to advise you that you can go ahead and practice, do more practice in your workshops on how these skills are done practically, and you'll be able to understand more and more skills. Have a nice day.